You're listening to Lyfe and Shyt. I'm Daneyel Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal. What's up, Mrs. Walker?
What's up, baby?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, shoot, you know what I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling
Like you're close to the buttons.
you know, somebody has to be the DJ.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man. How was your day?
It was busy.
Yeah.
Good. Yep, but very good.
You look good with your lazy eye jacket.
Thank you.
It's popping up.
OMG.
You still
said,
look
I
good,
told
though.
you. Well, thank you. I took a little bit there. Yeah, thank you. It was a busy day. I was in and out of meetings. Got my hair done this morning.
I'm about to say you got your hair done, looking all fresh.
Well, thank you. It's nothing like fresh locks. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. I just love the feeling. I love the look. And had a nice little happy hour and got here on time.
You were not on time.
I was here at 5:30.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be here at 5 o'clock.
No. 5:30 is what's on the calendar.
5:30 is studio time.
Yeah, I was here for a time.
5 o'clock.
No, what is that? The unspoken rule?
No, that's like marine time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah, okay. So be 30 minutes early?
Yeah.
No, you are never like that.
Only on Mondays. Only on Mondays. And I got like real kickback leisure clothes on for this Monday too.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Well, that's nice. That's chill.
Got a hoodie on. It was like 80 degrees outside.
Yeah,
What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. I mean, it was cold forever. But how was your day?
It was cool. It was real cool. We got a new employee over at the cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Had to bring her on board. That was fun. I got my locks done too. That's why I look so surprised right now because they tight motherfucker.
Tight and right. Oh, are they tight? Usually you say they're not that tight.
They tight today. They're not Daneyel tight.
Oh,
They
okay.
tight.
Yeah. Daneyel tight.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
So, all right, you came up with both topics.
No, you came up with one. I got from your
yeah,
list
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
all right.
look at
That's
you.
right. That's right. That's right. My list.
Both topics. What are you
but-
talking about both topics? We're talking about one podcast right now.
No, but you came up with, you was like, let's talk about this. And I was like, all right, cool. But one, I was like, oh, shit. Where's Daneyel going to go with this one? So
boy.
y'all get ready for this one.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
So I'm going to ask you the question because this is your topic.
Yes, it is.
What is the future of meat? Meat, because and then I had to say it like that too, because when I was talking to our director and producer, MT, he was like, "What?" And I said, "Meat." He's like, "Oh, I thought you said the future of me."
Yeah.
Like he started looking at me crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what you thinking about?
It's so funny because I shared this with people too, and then I said the future of meat, and then they said the future of meat, and I thought they said the future of me, and I was like, no, not meat, and they're like, yeah, meat. I was like, oh,
Meat with a T on the end.
and then someone said meat. Oh no, eat. Yeah, that's why it's called meat.
That's just as
I had
corny.
to fill it out.
It's just as corny now as it was when you first said it. So they said eat, and that's meat. That's some corny shit.
That's some good corn.
It makes you smile.
It's so funny because initially when I even thought of this topic, I said, you know what, I want to talk about where meat is going as far as plant-based, the soy meat, that's what I initially had in mind.
And I was going to ask you, like, what made you think about this topic? Like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah, because of all this, like the Impossible Burger, right?
Okay.
And
The Beyond Burger.
and the Beyond Burger and the soy meat and all these different substitutions that we can have, right? Another thing is bugs, right? So
bugs.
So but yeah, so we'll get into all that, but yeah, that's like that's the future of meat, right? So it's like instead of us having that cultured meat, you know what I mean? So yeah, those are the things. And then from there though, I kind of went down I'm telling y'all now, don't judge me, but I mean, you judge me if you want to judge me, but because that's your your prerogative. But in that also, I went down the other hole, which was like the goodness of meat if you're a meat eater, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hold that against you. Yeah. And just all the deliciousness that can come with the plant-based, and then also with adding more meat on meat on meat.
Just the way you said that makes me want to stop eating this shit. Like,
it actually made me want meat.
gosh. Now, for those that don't know, Daneyel is an advocate when it comes to steak. Like, I'm not a very big red meat guy.
Yeah, which is cool, and I think that everyone should be like that as far as who you're meshed with, right? So Tommy is a fish and vegetable guy, right? And then I'm a meat and potatoes. So I can't eat meat and potatoes all the time, but I would, right? But I'm not with someone. I'm not with someone who would eat meat and potatoes with me all the time. I'm with someone who says, "Damn it, eat a vegetable or eat some fish," or like, "Damn it, eat something different." So it's a good mish.
So, all right. So if you wasn't with somebody, then your cholesterol levels would probably be off the fucking
together
record.
we would be, right? Yeah. It'd just be like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Which would be bad. So it's like a good balance out, and then sometimes you're like, you know what, I can go for a good steak, so it's a good balance. It's a good balance.
Okay. I totally understand now. All right. So the future of meat, you talked about Impossible Burgers. You talked about Beyond. I remember when this shit first came out, and I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like y'all made a burger, or you made this beef in a lab, and it tastes like, right? It tastes like meat. So of course, immediately I was like, I gotta try it. So the first place I had an Impossible Burger was Burger King.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
you did.
I went to Burger King for that. I never eat at Burger King. Like never. Like Daneyel said, don't judge me, goddamn. I never eat at Burger King. I went to Burger King because they had the Impossible Burger, and yeah, I mean it was good. It was cool.
It was a good thing.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I fucks with it. And then we was somewhere else. We was at a restaurant, and they had the Beyond Burger, and I was like, all right, let me try that.
Yep.
No difference.
Yep.
I didn't taste any difference. They was like, oh, it's all plant-based. But then, if you ever watched, I think it was a documentary that we watched.
Yep.
And it was like they put the enzyme of something else. And that's what happened. And that's where it gives you the taste.
Yes. The taste of blood, basically, right?
Yeah. Which I was like, that doesn't make sense. But okay. But that's why I'm not a scientist.
Yeah. And I'm not sure which one it is, but one, yes, they put that taste of blood, which is just in meat, which would make it taste just like meat. And which one is at the at Burger King?
The Impossible Burger.
Yeah, I think it's the Impossible Burger, because people just like, oh, you got to go there and get that because it tastes just like a burger. And you honestly, you said it wasn't bad, right? Yep. Like you didn't miss out. Like, oh, I mean, because I know I've tried. I have y'all. I did the whole black bean burger, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be good. Yeah, I'm like, it's gonna be jamming. But I'm not gonna lie, at the end of the day, it was a black bean, like black beans in there. You know what I mean? It was not a burger, and I still had that craving for a burger.
So, and I realized, because when we had that black bean burger and it started falling apart, you realize I want something different, but it's not the same, right? So people legit in their head, like, all right, I want to change, I want to do something different, but then when you show up, you're like, well, damn, it's a mess, right? Yeah. And everything that they're doing nowadays is, it's a bigger picture, right? We're talking about the future of meat because of what meat actually does to the environment.
Right. Yeah. There's that.
So if
we were talking about it because of different reasons, but that's also one. I'll be honest. I brought the topic not for that reason though. So I'm gonna be honest, right?
So what was your reason? Because
I told you in the beginning.
Because in my research, I was like, oh, we should probably change.
No, like in the beginning, it was like I said, for to talk about all the differences, and then I went down a rabbit hole to all the deliciousness, right? And then I came back around. I was like, oh man, like this topic had me like on a roller coaster, and I was just like, do I want to eat meat, or do I not want to eat meat, or do I want to kind of look at these alternatives, or so. The reason is to educate.
Yeah, so
right?
1,000%.
I mean, and we didn't know until we started researching. There's tons of stuff that we didn't actually even know until we got into to the thick of it, right?
So when you look at what it takes to raise cow and cattle and all that stuff, like it requires a significant amount of land, right?
The resources.
Yeah. So when you look at land and everything that the green what do they call it, the greenhouse gases that it gives off, things of that nature, they knock over trees, in order to create this land, of course, right? So you need all this land, you need all this water. It takes all the stuff that we talk about as from an environmental perspective of we're trying to be better humans. But at the same time, it's like, oh, but we want our steak, we want this, we want that. And if you really look at the big picture of what you want and the price that it costs to get it and everything that comes, full circle, it makes you think about it like, all right, well, maybe that little enzyme of blood in that Impossible Burger is worth it.
It's better, right? Yeah. I mean, and like I said, in the researching of this, I looked and I love tomahawks, right? So I love a tomahawk, a great tomahawk. And the other part is the spiritual part, right? Because now it's like, how many tomahawks come out of a cow? 14. And it's like, oh, shit.
So, hold on. Because I've seen you take down a tomahawk.
I love a tomahawk, y'all. I love it.
And you made me eat a tomahawk once.
I made you. Stop it.
Yeah. You smiled at me. You glamored me with those eyes. And you was like, babe, we should share a tomahawk.
Yeah, it became me and my sister's thing, too. Like,
we was in Mexico, and I was like, my gosh, I couldn't do it. That was it. That was my first and last time.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. But 14 tomahawks come out of a cow?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was like, aw. Like,
Did you say aw?
Yeah, I did. And a tomahawk, for all of you all who I'm not sure if you know or not know, but it's mostly ribeye total. It's like a huge ass rib eye steak, which is delicious and marbled, and yeah, it's like the cap of the ribeye, and then like the outer like case. It's like all ribeye, which the ribeyes are just like super marbled piece of steak. And the marbling of the steak, in case y'all don't know or if you do know, is like the fat, right? And it's what gives the meat that juiciness. Something like a lean piece of meat would be like a filet mignon, and this is super lean, and there's not a lot of flavor in it, which is why they wrap it with bacon or put elaborate sauces to go with it to make it more flavorful. But you don't want to eat it too well done. Here's another note: like if you cook your meat well, like past medium, honestly, it's like you've taken all those enzymes out of it. And now you're just eating an animal that's not
jerky.
Yeah.
So you got so when you got scientists out there trying to figure out, how do we save the planet, right? So you save the planet. That's why, because it sounds scary when they say, oh, your meat is being made in a lab, right? Or you have this company that is saying, this meat is plant-based, but then we throw this in it to make it taste like meat, and this is going to help the whole entire, environment. You kind of second guess it, right? But now they come out with some new shit where, because they said the first lab-grown piece of meat was back in 2013.
And this is cultured meat, right? Like the same thing. It's like,
I don't know what the fuck is cultured.
Like, it's the same. It's like meat. Yeah, it's like it's like meat produced using like stem cell technology, right? So that's cultured.
Yep.
Okay.
So this was the first 2013, right?
Okay.
So you like, these motherfuckers have been working on this shit for over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So 10 years ago was when they first did it, but how long before that they've been working on it, right?
Well, and that's when they said, oh shit, we're requiring, Americans are requiring more meat, so we're needing more cow, and we're needing more land, and they're like, oh shit, we don't have enough land, so what can we do to curve, right?
Exactly.
Like to save not only like, the animals and the planet, but and also provide this
this demand.
that we've created.
It's funny. Side note, totally off topic, but it reminds me of what Cat Williams said when he said, "Have you ever?"
Oh boy, I love saying that.
Cat Williams, his last comedy joint that he did. It was the latest one that he just
Spoiler
did.
alert!
Yeah, this motherfucker.
Spoiler alert!
This motherfucker said, for all the people that eat oxtails, right? So if you eat oxtails, especially here in America, motherfuckers love oxtails.
I do.
Where do you see oxes in America?
Ain't no ox. He said, I done been from coast to coast.
Yeah.
Where's the ox
LA
farm?
to New York, down to Miami, Chicago, never seen
Where
an
are all
ox.
the oxen?
But there's such a demand, right?
And they missing all their tails? What is an
ox
oxtail, y'all?
That's crazy.
What is
that
oxtail?
That shit had us dying.
Yeah, it did.
So going back to the stem cell, right?
Why are they so good? Okay, sorry.
So what's so the next component, right? After stem cell is fucking 3D printing. Could you imagine, because 3D printing is a big thing right now. So could you imagine that your steak is made by 3D printing? Could you imagine your steak is all of a sudden somebody just put that shit into a computer and then it just came to fruition?
And then I asked before when we were doing our research, and I asked our producer, I'm like, so do restaurants have to tell you? And I was like, I guess that's why they'll say oh, grass fed. It's like, okay, now you know this didn't come from a computer. Someone had to feed it something.
And unfortunately, if it says that, then you paying premium for it.
Yeah. It's like, I know. I'm telling y'all, this podcast had us going up and down. Well, it had Tommy pretty much done.
Yeah.
And then for me, it has me up and down.
I already had 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
I really want, in the beginning, I wanted to talk about this, but we had an experience this weekend where we did a blindfolded meal. So it was in the dark. It was all blindfolded, and you get to choose what your meal is before you get there. So it's either vegan, seafood, or steak. And you're giving,
no.
or I'm sorry, meat.
What's it?
And yes, because it's assumed meat. I don't know. I saw meat and I thought,
in true Daneyel fashion, she chose meat.
It could be any
and
meat.
I chose seafood.
Yes, of course I chose meat. Because I'm not going to turn down a meat meal.
And how was your experience?
Oh man, it was amazing.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was definitely meat. I'll say that. The first course, and like I said, you're blindfolded, right? So it's meat, right? So you can't really use a fork and a knife.
It's
so
meat.
yeah. So I kind of had to pick it up, what is it? Not barbarian, but I guess barbarian style, or that's not really what I was looking for, but it's just barbaric.
Yeah, very barbaric.
And this is I'm just tearing at it, and I'm so the first course rather, I'm tearing into it, and I say, oh shit, I don't think this is steak, but it's meat, right? And I said, it's meat though. What kind of meat is this? And immediately I was like, this is lamb. Now, I don't eat lamb. And why don't I eat lamb is just, I don't know. I don't want to think about a lamb. And, just how we're going over this and just thinking about the actual process of eating meat. And it was lamb. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to eat a lamb, Yeah. But it was really good. I'm not going to lie.
No, so this is, so Danielle is trying to explain to me what she's eating, right? And she's like, babe, what you get? I was like, I ordered seafood. So I'm eating shrimp, and I could taste it.
It was a shrimp salad.
Shrimp and salad.
Yeah, very simple. Yeah.
And as you said, very barbaric. It got to a point where I had to put the fork down, and I just used my hands. Yeah. And I'm just I'm scrubbing with my hands. I don't give a shit. All these people in the room, nobody can see.
Nobody can see. So I was like, huh.
And Danielle's like, this is the second time that you had a meat dish, and you was like, This ain't what I thought it was. Because we was at a Thai restaurant, and you ordered. It was supposed to be a chicken dish.
Yep.
And you think it was goat?
I'm pretty sure it was goat.
Pretty sure it was goat.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it was goat.
And so she's explaining it to me.
Second time, y'all hit me again.
so she's like, it tastes like this, and I said, does it feel like a lollipop? And do you have a bone at the end of it? And she's like, yes. I said,
Yep.
It's a lamb chop.
Yep. I was like, it's a lollipop. It's a lamb chop. It's a lollipop chop, lamb chop. And sure enough, it was.
And you're not one to eat lamb chops.
Not at all. Not at all. And then the steak came, and it had bacon on top of it. So I couldn't call. I mean, I didn't want to just go steak. So I was like, I think this is pork. I think this is pork with pork on top of it.
You believed it was
I
pork.
did. I was like, it's a pork
in.
chop. This is a pork chop. It was not a pork chop. I actually finished the rest of that steak today. It was a delicious steak, or yesterday. It was a delicious steak, actually, with bacon, like renderings, like on top of it. It was delicious. And it's delicious even the second and third time down. But anywho, yes.
With that, because of how you said that and described that, I think you are in position to stop eating meat.
Yeah.
Because if you blindfold yourself and you have no idea what
it is,
and
right?
You're like, and then especially for you to say like, I don't eat lamb, like that was your thing, like I don't eat lamb chops.
I don't want it.
And you fucked that lamb chop up.
Yeah.
Like you
legit.
You fucked it up. So
yeah, it was delicious.
And then when the steak came out, you was over it.
Yeah, true.
You was like, I can't eat this. I'm not going to eat this.
Yeah.
And
I was like, it's pork. I don't want it.
Yeah. And then the next day, it was a steak.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
No, I think I need to just step my meat game up. But
no.
Yeah.
Then you need to back off.
Well, what about some alternatives then, like animals, right? So we legit was at a market, and before that even, like at the Del Mar Fair and other places in Mexico, we've had insects, and I'm a lover of Naked and Afraid, and I know in Naked and Afraid they find a little wood log full of crickets, and it's like, hey, it's on, and I've eaten a cricket now, so I know they just taste kind of nutty, and and it's an excellent source of protein, but things like grasshoppers are excellent source of protein and maybe an alternative to meat if you like, and then scorpions, but I never had that. And then I want to say it's like meal bugs or there's something else, mealworms, yeah. And then what else is there? Is that
all
it?
That is gross.
I mean, it's not gross. It's just fried hard. You fry anything hard and it's gonna be good. Those you don't even have. If you throw a little salt on it, like boom.
See? All right, so couple
the
key
fry,
things.
the fry, and the
fried hard and salt.
Okay, well, barbecue it. Well done.
Grill it. Well done.
And then you don't have to Naked and Afraid. They don't have salt or anything, and I could see how. It's delicious.
So I'm gonna be an advocate for all my people that don't eat meat. There's when you talk about protein, right? There's other opportunities to get protein. So,
true.
So you're saying, all right,
if you just gotta have meat.
If you want to have protein, because ain't no meat in no cricket. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, well, yeah,
that shit is skeleton.
But if you just want to eat, you just want to eat an animal, I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you want your protein from an animal. I mean, if you want animal protein, and I mean, that's a thing, and there's nothing wrong. We're not judging people that like animal protein. That's fine, right? I mean, that's the thing, right? Animal protein. They want meat. Damn it, that's fine.
No.
We're not going to judge people that want meat.
I don't think it's that. I think it's your source of protein. I think that's where it comes down to. It's where do you need to get your protein from, and your choices are meat, bugs, vegetables, because there are vegetables that have a really good source of protein. So just depends on what avenue you're trying to go down.
True.
Right? And,
True.
And if you want to back off from the beef side because of how environmentally unfriendly it is.
Or pork, because the pork is that's a whole nother thing, right?
Yeah, all of that
pigs
stuff.
Eat everything.
Then yes, you could go down the grasshopper world if you choose to.
Or cultured meat. I mean, we made fun of cultured meat, right? And in all seriousness, I'm like, it's like no disrespect, but growing up, people said things like, "Oh, you a test tube baby." Remember that? Like, sorry, no disrespect.
Shout out to Bebe's kids.
No,
yes.
Yeah. But these were kids that were born in the laboratory, right? Now it's not an uncommon thing, for this process to happen. So for me to be produced using this technology. I mean, is that a bad thing? I mean, we're saving animals' lives, and does it still taste delicious? And are they not telling us what this is in the restaurants that we're eating in? And if you don't research, then you don't know. So care, right? But is that such a bad thing, though? I mean, now to have meat from a laboratory, or you know what I mean? I don't know. I'd like to try it and see, and I like to know what the total benefits or non-benefits are, right?
Yeah. Well, again, that's why I don't eat that. I have zero questions or desire. Like, I don't want my chef to come out and say, "Hey, by the way, Dr. Feelgood made that." Like, all right, well, the doctor should work on curing diseases. They're trying to create some shit.
And it's like one of those things, right, where it's good now, but over time, it's like what happens. Just like we spoke of a comedian that we seen, and he's like, people getting a shot. You know, it's like you get it now, and then like 10 years from now, you grow an arm. It's like, well, where did all this arm come from? Was that processed cultured meat or whatever? You know, like
Exactly. You know, regardless of your personal experience with meat, you know, it's important to consider the impact of your choices and how it affects the environment. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to for me. And you know, as human beings, you know, we tend to play God. Like, we want to be as close to God as we can. And that's why, you know, shout out to science. Like, you know, I love science and the breakthroughs, and it's the reason why we got all this new shit. But, you know, there's a little sprinkle of God that they're trying to, imitate as well. So, you know, in the universe and all that stuff, right? So when you say I could put this steak into a 3D printer and make you a ribeye, and it's going to save the planet, I'm going to say save all of that. I will just stop eating meat. Let me save the planet that way.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of things in scientific labs nowadays. So I say, if you can save a life and make it scientifically, and it still tastes delicious, and that's what you want, then that's fine, you know, if that's what you had to have. And I'm not going to judge you if you want to hammer down on a steak or a Dunkin', which we didn't talk about. Don't bring up the picture now. Yeah, don't you bring up that picture, damn it.
Thank you.
Just so everyone knows, that a Dunkin' is a turkey, a chicken, and a and a duck. And this became popular in about 2017. For whatever. Yeah, it's not like something that's been it's American and Canadian, actually.
Of course,
and
North
it's
America.
not. Yeah, it's not. And it's not nothing that's like been around forever, of course, because people still have never heard of this. So it's like, what? You know, and this is like a Thanksgiving thing, and I don't know. It's like everyone wanted to take Thanksgiving to the next level, you know, as people were like, well, instead of Thanksgiving, instead of traditional food, let's do this or let's do that, or well, that's just my take on that. That's not the reason that it came to be, but Turducken came out then. Why did someone decide to put 3 different meats together?
3 different birds. Sounds so fucking American.
I mean, but when you think of it, yes, right? Because I mean, we'll have several different meats overlapping each other, like a cheeseburger with bacon on it, right? This is beef and then pork, or we have a filet mignon wrapped in bacon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you need that bacon. It's a little salty, put a little flavor on it, but yeah.
That's so Gandhi said the greatness of a nation is judged by how they treat their animals. Right? And you know, you always talk about when we travel and eating at restaurants or franchises that are American, you hear what? Don't eat at those franchises because there might not be real meat in it, or it might be a substitute or alternative or whatever the case may be. But the way Americans do things at scale, like everything we do is big. Motherfuckers say, oh, everything in Texas is big. Everything in America is big. So the way we do things is at scale. And unfortunately, the way we treat our animals is not the best way, especially as a nation as great as ours?
I would say, well, it depends on what animal you're talking about. Because Americans, they treat their animals very damn good, and that's a cat or a dog. It's the ones they don't eat.
That's it.
That's what they eat. So if you judge a nation by the way they treat their animals, then damn it, Americans treat their dogs like almost
Humans.
Better than kids. You know what I mean? So and they're called fur babies and whatnot. So that is true. I have a friend who's a vegetarian, and I don't know if she's vegan. I want to say she's vegetarian, kind of vegan. And she always says, vote with your dollars. So if you are going towards that non-meat and, vegetarian side, or even if you want to make a change, you can vote with your dollars. And what that means is don't buy meat. Like, don't do it. And, she and I had some really good conversations, and I respect it, as a meat eater and her being a non-meat eater, and, us going back and forth, and me being like, they're going to make meat regardless, was my defense, right? And she's like, well, just don't buy it. And I'm like, well, but you know what? She's right. Vote with your dollars. If you're about it, then just don't buy it.
Yeah, that's it. That brings me to my final thought, which is great because we have a responsibility to make a conscious decision. And that benefit, whatever that decision is, it's just not a benefit for us, but it's a benefit for the future generation. So, as we discussed and we talked about how the impact of everything that we're doing, and today we're talking about meat, but everything, the impact of everything that we're doing and what it takes to create that product, to bring that product to our table or to bring that product to our homes. There's a bigger impact than what we see at the retail. And if you're voting with your dollars, understand what the source of it is and how it comes to fruition.
It's life and shit.
That's life and shit.
Love you, baby.
I love you, girl. Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.